The Easter long weekend is here, a sure sign of spring, but it appears Old Man Winter is not finished with us yet. A fierce spring storm roared up and down Vancouver Island, knocking power out to about 90,000 customers at the height of the storm. Our coverage begins on land with downed power lines and damaged buildings. Mary Beth Burton joins us with the latest. Mary Beth?
Eric, it's a day off for most people, but this had to be one of the busiest days of the year for emergency responders. Police, fire, and ambulance extremely busy today. And one police officer from Saanich found himself trapped in a cruiser, threatened by downed power lines.
Depends on if there was a real sharp part of that.
Saanich homeowner Doug Rutherford surveys the damage. He's been hit harder than most by the windstorm that brought 60 to 80 kilometer-an-hour winds to Vancouver Island.
That one chunk of the tree went and crushed the roof in a little bit. There's no real damage inside.
Were you guys home at the time?
Some of us were, yeah.
There were kids inside the home when the big tree came crashing down.
I think they were fairly shocked. Teenagers, you know, there was a bit of drama, understandably.
The tree took down power lines and left the Rutherford family in the dark with a huge mess to clean up. In downtown Victoria, police and fire were called to the Bay Centre. The shopping mall was taped off. High winds took a toll on the 4-story building.
And some siding off the building here off of the Bay Centre came down, unfortunately hit the back of a van and took out the window of that van, and there was also some other siding that was hanging. So fire department came down and were able to get up on top of the ladder and were able to pull the pieces off of the side of the building.
Another shopping centre had trouble in the intense windstorm. The fencing around Saanich's Town and Country Mall came crashing down. Bundled up construction workers fought the elements to repair the damage. Part of a tree snapped on Kisber Avenue in Saanich, knocking out power and tying up police officers. And on Ferndale in Saanich, a frightening example of how emergency responders are putting their own lives on the line in these extreme weather conditions.
The one officer, when you're looking down the road there, you'll be able to see he's about a block and a half from the power line that's hanging down. After he was on scene trying to get some residents to stay in their houses, a line fell down within about 15 feet of his car. When we became aware of that, he was advised to stay in his car.
BC Hydro was called and the officer got safely out of the cruiser about an hour later. His brush with high voltage is a reminder for everyone to use common sense in extreme windy conditions.
You know, anyone that sees that a power line, an entire power pole is leaning out in front of their house, they need to stay in their house and ensure Hydro's contacted, because some of these lines are high tension wires, and if they snap, they'll do serious damage to you.
There was no getting to or from Rockwood Terrace in Colwood. The subdivision was blocked off because Wishart Road was littered with downed trees and power lines.
Right now, currently, we have 2, possibly 3 trees down. We've got some hydro and telephone poles snapped, etc. So it's a bit of a mess at this point and further along.
At the height of the storm, as many as 90,000 BC Hydro customers were unplugged from Sayward to Victoria.
A lot of damage, a lot of outages, unfortunately, that won't be restored until tomorrow, and there may even be some that may not see it until Sunday. And that'll be if there's damage to your home, to the line that serves from the outside line to your home, that service line. Some of that stuff may not get attended to until Sunday.
It could be a very long Easter weekend without power on parts of Vancouver Island and the Gulf Island. So it certainly wasn't a good Friday for any homeowners who needed to do anything with their electricity today. Areas hardest hit, according to BC Hydro, by these outages of the western communities, was up to 12,000 customers affected. Duncan was also really ravaged by the storm, with 3,000 homes and businesses without power. The City of Victoria sent out a news release late today saying in all in this capital region, 40 trees down today. They had crews out, mainly in James Bay and Fairfield with the cleanup. One good thing about this, Eric, if there is one good thing about an Easter Friday, Good Friday storm, is that there were many businesses closed today. So again, those customers affected without power may not have planned to open today anyway.
Good point. Mary Beth Burton reporting. Thank you, Mary Beth.